So, welcome everyone, and welcome to the next episode of the Expert Talk. Today, I'm talking to Maggie Perotin. I'm not quite sure if I now pronounced it correctly. Maggie, did I?
It's great. It's great.
Okay, Maggie is from lovely Toronto, and she has over 15 years of experience in leadership, strategy, and operational excellence, helping CEOs scale their businesses without sacrificing work life balance. As a business and leadership coach, Maggie, you are specialized in strategic growth, executive leadership, and operational efficiency using your dream, plan, do coaching model. I have no clue what this is, but I am so keen to know it. So, with an MBA, publications in US Today, and a columnist role at Expert Profile, you combine corporate expertise with real world coaching. Very impressive. You also left a six-figure leadership career to pursue your passion, which is helping service-based businesses streamline, grow, and thrive. However, amazingly, you will also be featured in Legacy Makers, a documentary series on Apple TV. And yeah, I'm so keen to get more information from you, Maggie. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Susan. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
I hope everything was more or less correct, what I just introduced, yeah?
Yeah. All good.
And I just saw you have this very nice small sign in the back of your screen. So what is written? I teach, and then I see leaders. So what is it?
Says I teach tomorrow's leaders, and it's actually was a parting gift of one of my staff members that gave me. When I left my corporate role, one of my managers, with whom we became friends, over time, but that was a gift from them.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
speak about leadership and how you help by coaching. So what kind of skills are important to be a leader?
Well, so I have maybe an unconventional theory or philosophy around leadership because I believe that we're all leaders, right? You don't need to have a title, you don't need to have a team to be a leader because the first and foremost who you lead is yourself. You lead your life, you lead your business and so on. And when you know how to do that well and intentionally, then it's easier and you're a better leader for others. So, um, but if you think about more conventional way, okay, leadership meaning leading people and so on, what I believe it's really helping people be the best for them, like be the best that they can be. And of course, if you're a leader in an organization, then you have a common goal of that organization that you want to achieve, or for your, whether it's a department or a business or together. But when you help others be the best in pursuit of that goal, then that's for me, that's what leadership is, right? And with that, it comes helping them grow, removing obstacles on their road, right? Helping tapping to their potential, tapping to their strengths to help them grow. And then through that, everybody performs at their best, you achieve your goals.
I really support and adore what you just said about you help others to be the best. I mean, these are very strong words, right?
Mhm. 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 It
So,
is.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I think like as human beings, we have so much potential in us, and every single human being is that as leaders, that's our job to like see it and get it out, right? And help because like think about it, like when we are better and when we as human beings we grow and we see we're doing well, that's super motivating, right? People feel good about it, they want to do even better. So when you can do that as a leader, you'll have really high performing teams, you'll have people who are very loyal to you, and you're achieving goals at the same time.
I also read in your summary that a kind of a burnout were starting, questioning, you questioned yourself, right? Because I guess you tapped in a burnout or something. And then you thought also about your role, what kind of leadership roles are, the best. Maybe we can speak about this.
Yeah, I did, unfortunately. I think it's almost like I don't know, cliche, right? That at some
No, it isn't.
point.
No, no, it isn't. I very strongly support, people talking about their burnouts, really. It's very interesting. Yeah. Mental
Yeah.
health is for me the most important thing. And especially as a leader, you have to take care that your people, your team, they are mentally fit.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I did go through a burnout, and it was, I can't say it was systemic, right? It wasn't something that was going on through years and so on. It was, I call it like situational, where the company I used to work for just made some bad decisions. Okay. And it happens, right? All businesses, we're not perfect. We make some bad decisions. However, that's the thing where you actually have a team that relies on you, that you need to lead. Your decisions impact them. And as leaders, we need to think about it, right? And I don't think that happened at that time. So there were some bad decisions made, and it put so much pressure on not only on me, but on our team and in a department that I was there, that we were set up to fail. It was just impossible with the resources that we had and not new resources given to tackle twice as much work type of thing. We were just set up to fail. And what happens is, at least so like I will speak from my experience, right? So I'm this high achieving employee, one of the best you've got, right? High achieving, I was a middle manager at the time. So I am this high achieving middle manager, one of the best you have, super loyal, wants to succeed, and finds herself in a position where no matter how hard I work, no matter how long I work, no matter what I do, I can't succeed. And on top of it, because I can succeed, I'm starting to get beaten up by the client, by the executive, and I was a young mother at the time, like young, not me being young. My kids were young. So I'm a mother of young children, sitting in front of computer, working weekends, not getting breaks. And then at some point I was like, for what? Why am I doing this? Right? I have a child here that I can't, that it's asking me for attention. And I'm like paralyzed in front of my computer trying to catch up, to be beaten up, not physically, but like mentally at another meeting. Like, where is this leads to? Right? Like, what am I doing? So in that moment or in that time, I felt trapped. And I always laugh because I'm a Sagittarius. I like freedom. Like, I can't feel trapped. I freak out. Like, I'm like, what? So that made me really angry. It got me to the point where I'm like, I didn't sign up for this, right? Like, I'm happy to work hard. I like to work hard, but I also didn't sign up for draining myself, being stressed out all the time and seeing no light in the tunnel, like no way to succeed, right? Um, so that got me thinking, like, is that really what I even, and I got out of it. Like the company realized that and they quickly made some changes that ultimately I helped and we kind of got out with it with the new leadership of the department and that situation. But what it, the silver lining of that was that it got me thinking, oh, you have another 20 plus years of professional career ahead of you. And professional career is important to me, right? Like I have kids, but I was never a type of mom who would want to stay with kids all the time. I'm like, I love them to death. I would do everything for them and they need their own life, right? I have my own career, they need their own life. And then we have time where we spend quality time together. So then I looked ahead and I'm like, I don't see myself going for it in that line of business that I was in the corporate career. I didn't want my boss's boss job. Like, I don't want this. I don't want the stress. I don't want the kind of things that they deal with. And then that made me think, okay, well, if you don't want this, then what do you want? Right. Like, okay, great, but what are you gonna do? And that's
I mean,
where the idea for my business came up.
I really like, you just what you explained, because you were questioning yourself. I mean, there's, on one hand you can be stressed, and you can, kind of getting a burnout, or depression or whatever. But if you not have the reason why this is happening for you, this is for me the most bad thing, on planet. So if I'm getting stressed, I like to know why I'm doing this, and then I would like to feel comfortable somehow.
Right.
That's
Right.
a big difference. Yeah. I would like to speak with you, Maggie, about this coaching model, which sounds super interesting. Dream, plan, do. So, what is about?
So there's a couple of things to it. Like it's kind of the way I operate, right? When I started, like when I decided to have a coaching business, I started and coaching is about helping people achieve their goals pretty much, right? So in as a business and leadership coach, I help my clients achieve their goals in business or in the leadership career, however, right? And while also having their personal goals met because that's important to me. That's why I left corporate, right? Like I'm like, I am a woman, I am a mother, and I'm not going to sacrifice my personal priorities, time with my kids and so on for professional goals. When those two values started clashing, that's what prompted me also to no, 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 I need that to be in harmony, right? Balance. Sometimes people think balance or it has to be equal time all the time. That's not what it is about. Like, I need it to be in harmony for me, the way I see it, right? So then I started thinking like, okay, how do I achieve my goals? And the way I operate is this, like I have an idea, I have a dream. Okay, this is what I want, right? I determine like if this is what I want. And then I plan. And I find that a lot of people don't plan, don't think through certain things, right? Especially in business. Like sometimes people, like entrepreneurs, they have a lot of ideas. Like, yeah, okay, let's go, right? And because they don't plan, they encounter so many obstacles that could have been avoided that they make the journey so much harder for themselves. And either they quit or it just takes longer. They waste a lot of time, money, maybe other resources, right? So then, okay, if I have an end goal, if I have a dream, so let me plan. What do I need to do, right? And depending on if it's a short term, then you can really like map out the journey. If it's a long term, you're not going to map out 10 years, but at least you can map out, okay, what is the next step I can do, right? So for my business, if I came up with an idea to start my business, well, I'm an immigrant to Canada. I've never had a business in Canada. So my next step was like, okay, well, let's learn about the legal structure, like what type of business in terms of legalities, right? And then you take a next step and then you take next step. So once you have a plan, then you can execute, right? So then you start taking action. But it's also not just about taking action and let's say doing the same thing over and over and things are not working, but you're expecting a different result just because you're consistent with action. It's about taking consistent action and also reviewing that on a regular basis and adjusting things that are not working. So then, or understanding where you're off course because you did something and it took you the other path and you should be coming back. You're getting, you're not focused anymore. So the doing part is about consistency, but it's also about reviewing and learning and improvement. And it's about building that consistency with habits when it's you, right? If you're taking the action, if you put if you create habits, it makes it easy and simple to do it for a long period of time. And in business, it's about creating some systems, right? And processes and streamlining things so it's effective. So that's what the model is all about.
The model is awesome. Congratulations on the model. It's very handy. You can feel it, because I believe a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs and founders, they dream, and you are absolutely right. They just got lost, in the planning part, and then also in the doing part. So I can reflect this, on myself, how I plan, how I, do. Yeah, it's wonderful. So since time is flying, but I'm super curious to ask this question. Please, Maggie, could you give some insights about the TV show Legacy Makers, which will be on Apple TV? So what is
Yeah.
the series about?
So this series is about the person who came up with it, right? The executive producer. He thought he's an entrepreneur in US. He's British originally, but is in US and he's a entrepreneur, multiple brands. And he thought because there's so people watch a lot of TV, right? We scroll, we watch, and so on, and that's great. Like we want to be entertained. Like I watch movies too, like all of us do, right? But because of that, why not create something that not only entertains but inspires you, right? Inspires you to do something, to pursue the goals that you have in the dreams, right? So that's the whole premise of that. So Legacy Maker is going to be a show that will feature stories of different entrepreneurs. There will be some big names there, like there will be people like Carmen Electra or Les Brown, who is a big motivational speaker in the US. They will probably sign up some others, so there will be some, more stars, but there will be also day-to-day entrepreneurs like myself, right? I'm not that famous, right? But sharing their stories and telling how did they come to where they're at, right? And there's different stories, different type of businesses. I have a colleague here local who is going to be on that show as well, who is a firefighter and has a business as well, right? So like there'll be his story about, whatever challenges he had. So and yeah, so it's gonna air on Apple TV and Roku TV on end of spring this year and or summer. I don't know the dates yet because production is happening right now. And then some of the episodes will also air on Prime, Amazon Prime. I don't know yet when. Yeah.
But Apple TV, I mean, I have Apple TV, so I'm already happy.
So,
Yeah, it's nice because you just said inspirational, so this is wonderful, and it's a kind of a documentary, right, at the end. So it's not like like a series where you shut down your brain and sit and relax and do nothing. So you're getting information which are helpful for yourself to grow. So thank you
yeah.
so much that you are there. We are already curious to watch it. Final question to
Yeah.
you, Maggie. I would like to ask you for a quote. So something what is driving you, something what is also inspirational for you, or maybe could be inspirational for others. Something what you maybe just have right now in your mind, or what you always say to people. I don't know.
Okay, a quote. I have a lot of quotes. But one that I love, and I might butcher it, but I have it, I give it so some of my clients, when they coach with me, I give them like a swag, like a VIP swag, and it has like mug and so on. And on that mug, there was a quote that I put. And I don't have my mug in front of me, but it's something it says, don't dim your light, because sometimes we dim our light because we're worried about what other people will think about it, right? But shine bright so those who need it can find you.
Oh, that's so cute. I like it. That's wonderful. This is like the small quotes on this tea. I don't know, tea. If you drink tea, you have at the end you have some kind of this
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't know how it's called in English, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Maggie. It was a pleasure talking to you because this is wrapping up our episode of today.